Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another tutorial. Today we'll be talking about how to make Serum sound like any synth, kind of go over how to make super saws, as well as a little bit of layering of the drop. Before we get started and I kind of show you the preview, I want to say that all credit goes to Amadeux. He actually made a video on this previously already. I basically just took the video and basically just kind of sharing what I've learned from it and kind of like what I've created, a little bit what I've created and stuff like that. So I definitely highly recommend for you to check out his YouTube and his own video, because essentially everything that I almost learned here, or almost basically everything, was from him. And then before I show you the preview, I just want to say this drop again is obviously not finished whatsoever. Just kind of wanted to like you know, show you a bit of a preview just to kind of, just for the sake of this tutorial basically. So yeah, and then I think also this melody might be from Jason Ross's Wild Ones, I think. So credit goes to him in case that it actually is from him. So yeah, just might be in a different key. But yeah, let's go ahead and go into the preview. Cool. So going over the layers again. This is extremely rough, like drop, whatever you want to call it. I just really just made this today, so that way I can kind of go over this tutorial. But just to quickly kind of go over what we have here is I have the trigger for the side chain, basically routed to return track for the LFO tool. If you want to learn how to side chain, I have that video already posted on my YouTube. I guess I'll leave a link in the description below in case you want to check that out. We have some just like your basic kick snare pattern, and then I have this square warble lead. Also, I've already created a tutorial for this from one of my previous videos. Again, if you want to check that out, I will leave the link in the description below. This is what it sounds like. So yeah, that like, you know, ducking is basically the side chain kicking in. And then here we have our saw stack group. Basically, this is the first saw stack, or the first super saw. And then this is the second one, just because I felt like, you know, it kind of needed some more like mid or body to it. And I'll definitely, you know, show you all the presets and stuff like that. But this one's super simple. Again, it's mainly, you know, to show you how to make, you know, Serum sound like any synth. And then we have another one here, a bit more like spread saw. And then we have a gritty bass here. And then we have a harmonizing kind of bass playing the fifth and up an octave. And so yeah, that's basically, oh yeah, and some noise here too. And that's basically it for you know, this rough drop or saw stack. But yeah, just to kind of get started, before we kind of get into the presets, I kind of want to show you like how we can turn Serum to basically any synth. So we're gonna basically take Sylenth here, and you can do this with Harmor and so forth basically. And basically we're gonna initialize everything, just leave it as is, and then we're gonna basically turn this into an audio file, freeze and flatten basically at C1. So it's basically your basic saw wave, and you can even do this with other you know, different wave shapes too if you like, but for this case we're just going to do the saw wave. And then what we're going to do is basically freeze and flatten. So this basically turns into audio, and then what you're basically going to do is, once you have that audio file, you're going to open Serum, and then basically we're going to click this pencil tool, enter C1, then you basically just drag and drop that saw wave file in here, and now you have a Sylenth saw wave table in Serum. So that's basically kind of like how I went about, doing these super saws, making it sound a little bit different and not really in Serum. Since this video, again, all credit goes to Amadeux. So he also provided all the wave tables from like Harmer, Sylenth, and I think a few other places too, I forgot. But I also leave another link in the description below to that video, so you can go over and go to, I think it was the Google Drive, and just download the wave tables in case that you don't have like the different like VSTs and synths and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's kind of how I go about doing making Serum to sound like a different synth. And that's basically what I did here. Again, all credit goes to Amadeux. This is like literally the same kind of processing and stuff he did. I kind of just changed it a little bit. Like I think he used I think it was like a basic the Serum Saw wave at a different position, and then he also used the Harmer. But for me, I used both Sylenth saw wave tables, in the same, done in the same method as earlier, and then put some white noise, and then basically, again, these are all the same settings as Amadeux. We have some chorus here, hyperdimension, distortion, compression, reverb, and then EQ. And then additionally, in the matrix, we basically just set the envelope 1 to the reverb. This basically just turns off the reverb rather than letting it just go out the entire way. Basically, it'll basically turn off when I think when the notes stop playing. And then we also have global, and basically just change the mode to supersaw. And then additionally, Amadeux put this up an octave just to kind of make it sound more full. I didn't put it on because I actually might just add a separate saw that's a different octave. And then the reason why we're using the Sylenth, because I think it has like some different phasing compared to like Serum being more digital. I'll kind of show you an example. So this is the Sylenth saw wave table. And then this is the same exact processing, but this time it's a Serum Saw wave. The reason why it looks like this is just because I did the same method as shown earlier, but just basically just threw in a Serum Saw wave table in there, and that's why, I guess that's why it looks like that. But this is what it sounds like. And just to kind of compare. So you can kind of hear a little bit of a difference, kind of like, I think that like that phase or whatever, I think it's kind of like the top end that you can kind of hear the difference in each synth or VST. And for me personally, just my own like personal taste, I like the Sylenth one more. I just like the way it sounds. So yeah, I went ahead and did that. And then basically outside of Serum is basically just this EQ. We're actually gonna dip down this area here. And then actually what Amadeux did, he actually added the highs back using like, I think it was like the UAD mag EQ. I didn't necessarily learn how to do it quite yet on this EQ, so I just didn't do it yet. But you can basically, the reason why he dipped this is basically so he can bring back the highs using more of like an analog VST, just to make it, again, sound, basically change the sound a little bit compared to as if we were to use the highs from the Serum. And yeah, that's really it for that. And then going to this one here, again, really basic. I just kind of put it in there just because I felt like it needed some more mids to be a bit stronger in the mids, just to, I guess, sound a bit heavier or full. But yeah, basic EQ, cutting out everything below 100, for unison and 5 unison, the pretty kind of like, low on the detune, just so it can kind of, rather than being spread, it's more condensed or whatever. So you have about 0.4 and 0.3, just using the basic saw waves, and then some hyperdimension just to kind of give it some width, and then or I think it's more of like the Haas effect kind of. I think that's what it does. And then distortion just to kind of make it warmer. And then up next is a randomized Serum wave table. very similar idea of why, you know, I've decided to use the randomized one rather than like, you know, your regular Serum Saw wave. And I learned this from Amadeux in a personal coaching session, and I think he might have learned it from AU5. So again, shout out to them. Although I don't think I think Amadeux now is too busy for with his job and stuff, so I don't think he's offering coaching sessions temporary for now, or maybe for some time in case that you wanted to reach out. So yeah, but basically how I went about doing this, and I'll kind of show you the differences between like a randomized one and a regular one. So we literally have the same two Serum Saw waves here. Same idea, just one's randomized and one's just a regular saw wave. I'll kind of play the difference. So that's the regular saw wave table, and then the randomized one. Again, it's something dealing with the phase, basically, like that higher end that makes it sound a little bit more, you know, phasey, I guess, whatever. I like it a lot more. But basically, the way you would kind of go about doing this is basically, I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this, I guess, for now, and just put example, and then I'm just going to initialize everything. And basically how you would kind of randomize it is basically go to the pencil tool, and then, you know, around here, wherever it really doesn't matter, I think, and then just randomize all, and now you have this like randomized saw wave table. And, you know, without anything, it just kind of sounds like that. Yep, so that's kind of how you would go about making that. And then basically, you know, since we had two really condensed saws, I basically just added a more spread saw. So this one has 9 unison, 8 unison, detune, more spread, basically around 10 o'clock, and then some more white noise. Hyperdimension again, same idea, distortion, and then basically same EQ here. And yeah, that's basically really it for those. I guess I can also kind of share with you like the differences when you have like the randomized ones versus the more like non-randomized ones. So this is basically these three saws together. And then this is like more of the you know, regular ones. But yeah, like, you know, technically it could work, but it doesn't have that like phasing sound, which, you know, again, I really like. So that's basically it. And yeah, I didn't even bother to EQ the lows because, well, maybe aside from this one, just because yeah, it was just mainly for the tutorial. And then yeah, here we have a bass. This I've shown probably a number of times by now. It's basically the classic Kashmir Angry bass. I'm not going to show the preset just to respect Kashmir. I don't know how you feel if I just revealed his presets and stuff. So you can download this on Splice. Just search up, you know, Kashmir Angry bass preset, and you'll definitely find it. And then this one I learned from Blanquet. It's pretty simple. I don't know if I should show it either, just to maybe respect Blanquet. You can. I learned this from his Patreon, so I would definitely recommend for you to check it out if you haven't yet. He has a Patreon full of his, you know, song walkthroughs and stuff like that, and, you know, tips on compression. A lot of value in there, so definitely recommend that. But basically, this is just two saw waves, basically just clear initialized, retriggered both on one voices on both sides, one octave on one of the oscillators, and +7, so it's playing the 5th. And again, it sounds like this. And then basically this white noise I just cut off, you know, around here, and just some, you know, Sylenth white noise basically. And again, it all together sounds like this. Yeah, it's obviously still missing some things, but to kind of finish this up, you know, I would definitely add more like crashes, maybe atmospheres, maybe you know, probably EQ and stuff like that, since I didn't even bother to do that. Maybe change up the saws a bit more. I mean, honestly, this could work too. Oh yeah, and also add a sub, because I don't even have a sub, you know, and basically all the rest of the fundamentals of you know, what requires a drop, which we can probably do, which I already have a video on, and maybe we can do on a future video, since definitely my sound has improved since that video and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, or if you did find it helpful, and also please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Hit the bell notification symbol so you know when my next video goes live. Definitely more videos like this coming down the line. Also follow me on social media. I post a lot, you know, a lot more shorter form videos of music production tips on there, and I'll definitely post like probably some of my personal journey too, you know, as I keep growing and stuff, and kind of like share how I did it and stuff. But maybe that'll be for later when I get a bit more of a bigger following. And then join the Discord server. I'm looking to build a community where we can all help each other grow, and musically and stuff like that, maybe even mentally, whatever it is. So if that's something you find interest in, feel free to join. I will leave all the links in the description below. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much again for watching. Until next time, much love. Peace out.